Hello everyone and welcome to the unboxing of the Modern Love Tarot by Ethony. Now, I love Ethony. I'm a big fan of hers. I have her Awakened Soul Oracle, and she's just an awesome, honestly, tarot reader and tarot teacher. I love her stuff. Anyway, before I fangirl too much, I love. So this deck actually came, I pre-ordered it as soon as she put it out there. She put a few pictures out and I was like, yes, that deck really speaks to me. Modern Love, exploring the many facets of love. And I love this image. One, because it's all inclusive. For those of you that are not in the know, it's just two beautiful women kissing. I love that. Now, for those of you in the know, if you guys watch RuPaul's Drag Race, Ethony is a huge fan. I am a huge fan of RuPaul's Drag Race. And there's a picture that Violet Chachki and Miss Fame took together of them kissing. They were pretty much dressed very much like this, and they're kissing in the picture. Gorgeous picture. And of course, the artist that Ethony paired up with created the snake surrounding it and all these beautiful trees and fruit. But this image also just really called to me as a huge Ethony fan and as a huge RuPaul's Drag Race fan. Now, the box when it arrived, it's a lot bigger than I expected. I thought she was going to come out with a deck that was like tarot deck size, but it is not quite. Here's my Rider-Waite-Smith original, and as you guys can see, it's significantly wider, right? Let me put it this way, like wider and taller. Let's actually get a card out of here. Should have done that before. Okay, I'm gonna put it here to the side so when I get the card, I'll show you guys how big it is. So if it opens up like a flap like this, like a book, let me show you guys the back real quick. I love that. The cards in the Modern Love Tarot represents love in all of its glory, including diverse representations of family, love, and people. Now, here's another thing that I love about Ethony, is that she really makes an effort and a point to include a lot of different people, a lot of different lifestyles, a lot of different colors, races, creeds, all the good stuff, which I find that to be incredibly powerful. And it's something that the tarot community gets a lot of heat for, honestly. Okay, so we open it up, this beautiful pink floral style I love. I also didn't expect the book to be so thick. This book is very thick, you guys. Let's see how many pages we have. We have 341 over here. Then you got about the creator and about the artist. Love it. So pretty much this is how it goes. You have a color image, and then you have the title, some keywords, general love meaning, and then single loving it. Hey, now you got so much more. So a lot of these little white books, is what we call them, like little guidebooks, they usually just have one page. But here, Ethony does the brilliant thing of separating it. She does it, you know, the general meaning. So if you don't have a lot of time, you can just read this paragraph. But then if you're single, if you're ready for love, or if you're dating, if you're in a committed relationship, if you're struggling, and the end being the conclusion, right? So I find that to be really, really powerful because it really separates. Like, are you single and just having a great time being single? Yes. You know, are you ready for love, or are you just starting to put yourself out there? Committed, struggling. Like, I just love how there are so many facets to love and so many different stages of love. Dedicated to anyone who has come to tarot with an open heart looking for love. Now, I will say this, you guys. I have read this deck quite a few times, not always for love. And it is incredibly accurate and amazing and beautiful. It reads beautifully. It reads absolutely beautifully. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much the book. We got some love tarot spreads over here. You know, 5, 6 different love spreads. Quite a few, actually, honestly. All right, so let's get to the cards, really what you're here for. Now, this gold foiling over here, I love, super glossy. Now look at these backs. They are so freaking cool. So Ethony's logo is this bee, beautiful. Then you have cups, wands, you have all the elements, and you have a bunch of hearts in there. Oh, you guys. So here is the card. So this is a traditional, my original Rider-Waite-Smith. Here I have the size of the cards. They're very much oracle size. If you guys are familiar with like Hay House decks, they're very much that size. All right, so let's get started. Now, before I start, I will be showing you guys all of the cards. So if you don't want to see all of them, you can double tap to the right of your screen. It will skip around 10 seconds at a time. You can also just skip this part altogether, but I will be showing you all of them. So first one is the Fool. I love this painting. The Magician. I love how it's Elizabeth Taylor and Cleopatra. The High Priestess. The Empress. It looks like Ethony a little bit, honestly. The Emperor. Now, as you guys can see, it's a very modern deck. Hathor or Isis, whichever you want to associate her with, but I love them. Here we have the Lovers, the cover. The Chariot. See, Ethony even pays attention to like the pets that we have. Some pets have a little wheelchair, some don't. Some are bigger, some are smaller. It's totally fine, and I love the inclusivity of Ethony's work, and especially this deck. Strength. So as you guys can see, it's a very modern deck. But of course, it's for modern times. It's for us, but it still has a flair. Like this hood, for example. People don't really wear hoods anymore, like on a daily basis. Maybe some of you do, I don't know. But maybe Ethony is ahead of her time and should know something that I don't. But what I mean by that is just that it's still, especially with this one too, the Wheel of Fortune, it's very traditional, quote unquote. But also with Justice, you have this such modern and interesting depiction of justice, which is a middleman, a counselor. Yes, in this case, we're talking about a relationship counselor, but any counselor, someone that comes in with an objective point of view. We can be too involved emotionally and someone comes in. I just find this to be so brilliant. The Hanged Man, who doesn't lay down listening to music or a podcast upside down on their bed? I love that. I do this. Death. But then you have this card, right, which is fantastical. Someone playing with all these butterflies, and yet there's a fantasy to it. So we go from reality to fantasy a little bit, keeping the meaning of the tarot and yet being incredibly, incredibly modern. Temperance. I cannot imagine the amount of patience you need to teach a child how to cook. Devil, I love this. It's just a bit of a dominatrix. Yes. The Tower. Such an impactful image. Those stars, so beautiful. The Moon. The Sun, Inner Child. Judgment. Even this depiction of judgment, sure, some of us are Christian, some of us aren't. That's okay. I'm not triggered by this. Some of you may be, but you got this. It's almost like you're looking from inside a grave. You're looking up, and this angel here is reaching her hand to pull you out of this grave, which really is what judgment is all about. The World, so beautiful. Now we get to the Suit of Wands, the Ace of Wands. Now, I put this deck back in order, you guys, for this review, but I've been using this deck quite a bit. And honestly, for the month that I've been using it, it's brand new. It looks brand new. Now, I'm not an aggressive shuffler. Some people are, and that's okay. And this, actually, perfect time to talk about the cardstock. It's very, very sturdy, everybody. It doesn't bend super easily. But you can still, I have riffle shuffled with it, and it riffle shuffles amazing, I've watched Ethony's videos, and she's a riffle shuffler, and which is fine. So I know that she would pick a card deck that would allow her to do the same. I love this Four of Wands, sometimes called a marriage card, and it looks like a marriage, but it looks like celebration and fun and just interesting. Just beautiful. Five of Wands. See, more inclusivity, absolutely stunning. Because I find that a lot of times too, when we're talking about inclusivity in decks, it goes, it just, a lot of people, what they do is they just add more Black people, which I love. But if you're talking about inclusivity, it includes everyone. As you see, Ethony is doing a Black person, a person in a wheelchair. I'm sure we've seen some Asian people in here as well too. And the Four of Wands, right? Those were Asian people getting married. That's what it looked like anyway. So it's incredibly inclusive, and you will find yourself in these situations, and you'll find yourself in these people, and you'll find yourself in these cards. It's just absolutely amazing. Which I have never seen this before. So I love this King of Wands. This is a drag king, you guys. A drag king is a woman, a biological woman, or actually, I'm sorry, any woman who dresses up like a man. Like a drag queen would be a man dressing as a woman. But I've never seen this in any deck. And Ethony, and the artist just decided to add that in, and I just find it to be brilliant. And it has everything to do with the King of Wands. That's also what I love. It's just it doesn't take away from the traditional meaning of the cards. It actually enhances and it adds to it. And that's personally what I look for in a tarot deck. I know some people are collectors, and they, any deck that's out there, they buy, and it's great. Collecting things is absolutely stunning. But for me personally, from my collection, I'm not looking to have 500 decks. I am looking to have powerful and meaningful decks. But of course, the art, the feel, the vibe of the deck has to speak to you. So no judgment in anything I said. Everything I said is actually my opinion and what I look for in a tarot deck. We all look for different things. So it really has to do with what speaks to you. And that's what it is. A tarot deck has to speak to you. If you're going to read for yourself or for other people, it has to speak to you. This Knight of Cups is super interesting. It's like this player guy who's between a couple, but also you don't know because here's what I love about this, okay? Knight of Cups usually is a messenger of love. He's bringing in love. Awesome. But if you are in a relationship, it can be a third person coming in to seduce the couple or one of them. But also maybe you are in a healthy relationship and you love your husband or your wife, but sometimes you like to get a little bit, you like to have a little bit of fun and bring in a third person, right? Also, it can just mean bisexuality, so who cares? But it has so many layers to this card that I love. We can read this guy as a player. We can also read him as just a third person. Or we can read as sexual fluidity. The Knight of Cups is very much about that, as well as romantic and sexual fluidity that a lot of us are open to exploring, Who hasn't been here, right? You with the person you love, but yet looking away, looking at your phone. Two of Swords, absolutely. Three of Swords. She's chilling. I love it. Four of Swords, resting. She's hanging out in the pool. I love that. Five of Swords. Such a powerful image. Six of Swords. I love that. The Seven of Swords kind of like sneaking out, because that's what the Seven of Swords really means, right? And you don't know if it's her sneaking out of like someone's house or if she's sneaking out of her own house. I love that. I love this. I'm gonna keep saying that I love, because I really do love this deck so much. Page of Swords, Knight, Suit of Pentacles. Now, this one, I don't want to ruin for all of you guys, because maybe you guys see it immediately and I don't. But every time I get this card, I see this as a pill, just like a love pill hanging over. But then I look at this guy and I go, oh, it's like a parachute or something. But the way it was painted in the position, it looks like a pill to me. But that's the Two of Pentacles, and I love that. Three of Pentacles, like a little bit of art gallery, I don't know, but I like that. Four of Pentacles. Oh, this one is sad, breaks my heart. It's like she was left at the altar, or he married somebody else or something. Now, I love in the curtains, can you guys see the two people? There are two faces in the curtains. Just the details, it's just really in the details, beautiful. Six of Pentacles. Seven. Ah, so beautiful. These beautiful cherry blossoms. And she just looks so happy. She's like, I feel great. And that's Nine of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles, family, love, legacy. Gorgeous. The Page. Knight. The Queen. And finally, the King of Pentacles. Alright guys, so that's our unboxing and review of the Modern Love Tarot, Exploring the Many Facets of Love by Ethony. This box, super sturdy, opens up like this. As you guys heard me say over and over again, I am in love with this deck. Not only for love, I do read it for many other things as well, but I do love having a deck all about love. Alright guys, thank you all so much for joining me. Much love out there.